In this video, we're going to be doing the first upgrades to this Danchee Ridgerock by putting on some brand new tires and wheels to see if we can really make this truck handle better than what it does currently. Hello folks, my name is Troy and this is Roadside RC. On the channel you'll tend to find me crawling and bashing and drifting and racing, plus doing product review videos and how-tos. I've recently picked up this Danchee Ridgerock because it is a very budget-oriented, great vehicle for folks to get started in. And I'm going to be honest, my first few drives I was actually really impressed with how well this truck did straight out of the box. But like many crawlers, the factory tires leave a lot to be desired, and the tire choice that you go with can be very important. So I actually have something I've never messed with before. So these are actually some carbon fiber wheels that you can pick up from Amazon. So I have those on 2.2-inch beadlocks, and then I saw these Endura like comp tires. And so we're going to get those out of the box. We're going to put all these together and we're going to see head-to-head comparison of are they better than these stock tires. I chose these tires because they are a cheaper version of some of the comp tires, 2.2 comp tires that you will see out there made by some other brands. It came in at a very reasonable price, tire with foam, significantly less than just the full-on comp tires from other brands. Are they going to be as good? I don't know. They are dramatically softer than the stock tire, so that's going to be in the right direction. These wheels, I think, are very interesting. You have a center ring, you have the outside rings that sit in here, but there's no screwing it into the inner ring. There's no screwing through to just between these. It actually has standoffs that go between it and screws there. It does have what looks like a very standard hub, so if you needed a wider or a narrower offset, it looks like you could replace that fairly easily. This whole setup should be really rather lightweight. You'll see a lot of folks, I'm a big fan of lightweight when it comes to my rotating mass, especially with a vehicle like this where the motors and the driveline are not very powerful. Whatever we can do to make sure that the driveline itself, the rotating mass, is lighter weight is something that I'm a fan of. Weight down low is good on a crawler. I'm not a fan of it being in the wheels. I'm much more of a fan of it being on the axle, and we'll work on that in a different video. I'm going to work on getting these mounted up, and I'll let you know what kind of issues I run into. I have to officially take back all my skepticism about how these wheels would go together. They're actually pretty nice. You put a set of screws in and these standoffs in here. I have the ring, which actually has, I don't know if you can actually catch that on the camera or not, but the ring actually has little grooves. You can slide all of this in together and it kind of helps hold everything still. You can get this bead set properly, and then you just literally sit this down and screw it in. You put the offset hex in there. I mean, it is, I'll be honest, it works rather well. They assemble up pretty nicely. The only thing I can see out of them from prior experience is because of where those standoffs are placed, they're in a little bit. Based on prior experience, if you have these wheels on a specific crawler, because of those standoffs in there, you might want to make sure that you have clearance. That's somewhere around 45 millimeters. So you want to make sure that you have that like 22.5 on either side of your center line to make sure that those clear. I do believe, just looking at them, I'm probably going to want a little bit wider of a standoff. The ones that come with it here, the hub that comes with it is 15 millimeters. I'm probably going to go to a 20, something like that, in order to get a little bit more spacing. They look like they're going to be pretty close in on the vehicle there, so I might want it just a little bit wider to widen the stance. Those are cheap. I'll look them up for you and provide you a link down in the video description. All right, before we put the new tires on though, we need to go test it with the old tires. So we're gonna go find a couple spots on the crawler course to be able to do a back-to-back comparison. Now that was interesting, wasn't it? That really made a difference. You know, climbing ability, total traction with these tires, even though they're the knockoff cheapo version, wow, that really made a big difference compared to the stock tires. I mean, really, really. The other thing that we noticed is these new tires are a little bit taller, and again, the offset's a little bit inside. So that meant there were a couple times which I caught these wires that are in here, so I had to just kind of move them to the inside to make sure that they were clear on both corners. Not a big deal, but the tires do ever so slightly rub there. So again, 15 millimeter hubs on here right now. I think something like that 20 millimeters, just to widen it out just a little bit more, will really help. So I'm gonna have to look online, see what I can find there. Not a big deal. Probably won't do a whole separate video on that because it'll just be swapping those hubs over. The other thing that we noticed, so the thing crawled better, it climbed better. Definitely traction is improved compared to the stock tires, but you did notice on the side hilling that it did actually fall off of that side hill. Fortunately, landed like a cat on its feet, but that is, again, two things. One, that these are slightly taller, which raised the whole center of gravity, but then also that narrower track width. So getting those hubs on there should really, really help. Now, I have a couple other things that I want to do with this truck in order to get a little bit more weight on the front axle. So be on the lookout for that in another video coming up. So stay tuned. I have a whole Danchee Ridgerock playlist over here where I've been driving it, my first driving, plus out at the Big Buddha's RC Ranch, and all the mods that I'm going to be doing to this truck. So come over here if you're curious about more stuff to do to this truck and check that out right there. We'll see you in that video. Thank you and goodbye.